Hello, orchid aficionado. Welcome to Orchids Trupti. Today, we'd like to take you on a little tour of our growing environment and share some tips for what we think and what we have experienced as good growing conditions for our orchids. Right now, I'm facing the easterly direction, and you can see the bright sunlight coming in through the east. I'm shooting this at midday, but these plants get the bright and early morning sunshine from the east. As we move forward, you will see that two faces at one end of the growing area are completely open to the air. So here is one open face, and on the other end, another open face. So the good thing about having such an open area at one end means that air can blow in freely. There is a polycarbonate roof, and there is a green mesh which I will talk about presently. And if you look at the other end of the roof, there is another open area at the other end. That means air blows in through one end and it can go out the other end. This will ensure that there is a good cross ventilation. The polycarbonate sheet should be at a height of a minimum of about 12 feet. In our case, it is about 14 to 15 feet high at this end. At the other end, it should be at least around 10 feet high. Now I'd like you to pay attention to the fact that the plants are arranged at different levels. There is one tier of plants right at the bottom, another one at an intermediate level, and yet another one at a higher level. So arranging the plants in these kinds of vertical layers or tiers, it means that you will save a lot of physical space. Also, I'd like you to observe the bromeliads. Here is a fern, and here is a basin full of water, and it is filled with water plants. In this case, it's water lettuce. So having the bromeliads, the ferns, and the basins full of water, they will help to retain moisture and create an environment conducive for the orchids. Here we also see some clay canisters which we also fill with water. This will help in addition. More ferns, more basins full of water, more bromeliads, more canisters full of water. Orchids being tropical plants, they love a humid environment. You can also see that there are plenty of air plants or tillandsia. These also retain moisture. Because of transpiration, they increase the moisture levels in the atmosphere. The plants are arranged in passages. This leaves room for walking and for easy watering. As we approach one end of the growing area, we have arranged most of the plants that require more sunlight to be on the outer edge of this area so that they are more directly exposed to sunlight. Different orchids have different requirements of sunlight. Generally, the younger plants should be closer to the middle of the growing area where they are a little more protected from sunlight. Now, I'd like to mention a little bit about the polycarbonate. The polycarbonate sheet should be rough on the bottom and smooth at the top. The reason for being smooth at the top is that in case of rain or water, the water can wash away any accumulated dust. Otherwise, dust will accumulate and gradually reduce the amount of sunlight which is available to the plants. This is something that we don't want. The green cloth net inside the polycarbonate provides some additional protection to the plants during the peak of the summer, when the direct harsh sunlight is liable to be too much for the plants to tolerate. Regarding the cross ventilation, we would like good movement of air. However, the air should not move too violently. In our case, when I showed you the easterly direction, we have completely open two faces towards the northeast and the east. The south is completely closed because of the adjacent building, and the west is partially open. So this keeps the movement of air at a comfortable level for the plants. Now I'm walking from west to the east. Have a look at the layout. Please pay attention to the floor paint. It is a waterproof polymer based floor paint and it is white in color. What this does, it allows the light to be reflected from the floor so that the stomata on the base of the leaves can be stimulated for better photosynthesis. At the same time, because of reflection of light rather than direct application of sunlight, the temperature does not go up too much. You can clearly see how the plants are arranged in passages, as I mentioned earlier, and you can see the vertical layout of the entire growing area. This corridor is made up of Vandas. There is one good thing about grouping all the Vandas together. Vandas really love a high amount of moisture. So, by grouping them together, we can adjust our watering pattern in such a way that all of the Vandas can be watered first when we are applying water. Then we water the rest of the area and we come back and water the Vandas once again. That way, they get as much water as their hearts desire. Here you can see how the area looks when it is being watered. So we are watering using a hose pipe with a mist sprayer at the end. Orchids really love when you can simulate conditions which are rain-like because they are tropical plants. That is the reason for choosing the water spreader. There are also misters covering the entire area, so that in the summer especially, it is easy to increase moisture by turning on the mister for a minute or so. If required, this can be done several times during the day. Finally, here's how the place looks at night time. We love coming up here at all times during the day, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening or night. The lighting has been done to allow us to enjoy them at night time as well. We love to spend time with our orchids at any time, don't we? Well, that's about it from us for our little tour of Orchids at Trupti. We hope you enjoyed it. Do let us know if you have any questions or if you have feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much and good day.